We are in the portal of yet another false illusion, a traditional false illusion. And what we're going to do with this energy, because we're alchemists, we are going to alchemize it for us. But first, I want to start every live with a nervous system reset, because we are in a huge consciousness shift. And if we can all prioritize just this 5 minutes of your morning, your entire life will be better. You'll be a better mom. You'll be a better partner. You'll be a better friend, a better worker, boss, whatever it is. So let's start. First, we're going to start with our vagus nerve. Look to your left. Just stop for a minute and do this with me. You can do it wherever you are in the world. If you're at a desk, if you're whatever, just stop with me and do this. It'll help you. Look to your left. Really get an idea of the range of motion you have with your neck. Look to your right. See what that feels like. How far back can your eyes look? Now look forward. Interlace your fingers. Pull up on the skin on your neck and stick your elbows to the sky. Keep your head forward and look with only your eyes up into the left corner. Take a deep breath in through your nose, always keeping your tongue on the roof of your mouth. That is correct tongue posture. That's going to help us breathe into our diaphragm. So what you're looking for here is a release. Yeah, that's a good one. When you have that, do the opposite side. Look up to your right. You're also looking for a release. It could be a sigh, a deep breath, a yawn. It can take 5 seconds or 5 minutes. And both of those are absolutely normal, especially the more you start doing this, the more you're going to, the faster you'll be able to do this. Okay, so once you find that release, come back to center, unwind, and then check. The mobility, the rotation is always exponentially better. Live in that moment for a minute. The next thing we're going to do is a big 6 lymphatic drainage. So you want to start here. These steps are important. Again, this is just going to take us a few minutes, and this is a few minutes that is going to make you a happier person every day. You don't need to be too tough with this area with the lymph. It's pretty superficial. Rub. Now you want to go up to behind your ears. Rub on your neck. You can massage it. And you want to do these 2 steps. Well, the first 3 steps are really important before you ever start doing any facial massage. Like if you're going to do lymph in your face, you need to do these first so the lymph has somewhere to drain. Things they don't tell you. Okay? So next you can go to number 3, your armpits. This is a huge lymphatic area where it can get super congested. So maybe this is something you want to do multiple times a day. On the other side. Okay. 4 is your belly. Now let's go slower. Let's be more intentional. Let's talk to our digestive system. Taking a big, deep breath in through your nose. Okay. Now here, go to your groin. Remember your tongue posture. Your tongue on the roof of your mouth so that you can breathe in through your nose and get a deep belly breath all the way to your diaphragm. When you're breathing, you want your diaphragm to expand, and whenever you breathe in, and then you want it to go out whenever you breathe out through your nose. That was number 4. This is number 5, right behind your knees. And the next one is a jump. And this is the last one. This is going to move everything out of your body. So what I recommend, if you can't come off the floor completely, that you at least raise your heels. That's going to help. So that's your rising routine, if you care to make it that way, because what it's done is releasing your vagus nerve so that you have a little reset and your nervous system feels safe. You can move and breathe. So another thing you can do if you want to incorporate this is massage this SCM muscle right here. It goes all the way from your ear down here And it lives on top of the vagus nerve. So whenever you're tense like this, what carrying the weight of the world, then your vagus nerve is going to be like, and you want to calm that down. So I like to give myself some nice massages here. Okay, so we are a few sleeps away. Thank y'all for doing that with me. It's really going to make your day more enjoyable. So we are at the end of the Chinese New Year of the year of the snake. Lots and lots and lots and lots of shedding has occurred. I know for me, probably, well, definitely in the last 3 years since becoming a mother, but in the last year, I have shed so many low vibrational beliefs in myself that have prevented me from holding as much as I believe I can, because I kept outsourcing my power, blaming other people for things that weren't going right, instead of seeing it, observing it neutrally and not attaching to the outcome. Instead, I was outsourcing my power. The big extreme things that came from that was like a smear campaign. That was a big one, because my pattern was to find someone I thought could help me hold Mama Michelle, the retreat, I don't know, and bring that person into an environment that they didn't sacrifice pretty much anything for. So the most beautiful part about shedding, if you choose to die over and over and over again, which is what shedding is, you just are completely letting these versions of you just die so you can rebirth without that weight. This is alchemy, and we are alchemists. So what we have learned from the year of the snake is how to shed without losing ourselves and reclaim our power from the places and the people that we gave it away to whenever we blamed them for our peace or our pain. If you say, oh my God, my life is so much better because you're in it. No, your life should be good and fucking wonderful 100% of the time. And everyone who enters it, who's a part of your ecosystem, is bonus love. So that's giving away your power. That's telling someone, my life was shit before you, and now I'm using you to feed my energy source. We don't want that. And if someone says that to us, it is a huge red flag. The same as if we go, you're the reason why I'm in pain. You're the reason why I'm unhappy right now. That's giving your power away. So the most popular, normalized way we give away our power is sexually. And that doesn't have to be physical penetration. It can also be self-pleasure. It can be lust. And it starts from whatever age we first were introduced to the power of our body's electrical current. And that electrical current was stimulated at whatever age you learned to feel from that. You learned to feel that energy based on the attention or touch or manipulation or abuse of someone else, realizing that someone can take from you or you can give under conditions. So what better day than a false illusion, traditional false illusion like Valentine's, for us to reclaim that power where we gave it away from. So this morning, this rising, I would like for you to get a string. We're going to do a cord cutting ceremony. And I will tell you, when you do this cord cutting ceremony, especially at the end of this snake year, these people are going to feel it. They're going to go, oh, I got to call her. Something's wrong with her. Definitely something's wrong. I probably need to check on that person because I feel them. I'm thinking about them a lot. Yeah, that's because we took our energy back from you, motherfuckers. So, and with love and respect. Thank you for helping us learn what we needed to learn. However, it's time to reclaim it. So what we're going to do with this string, and get a pot like this or a bowl or something that you can burn the string in. Candle. Like that. So I'm going to go ahead and light my candle so that I can use the energy of Abuelo Fuego. So here's what we're going to do. Hold this in your hand. Hope everybody has had time to do this, to get their string. If not, go and get it. Every thought that surfaces, you're going to tie a knot in it. Okay? Every encounter that you gave away your life force energy to, you put a knot in it. There is no right or wrong reason to knot this string. So you can think of your current partner. You love them. Okay, great. You should love yourself more. Love yourself enough to at least reclaim your power back, even if it's for an hour, even if it's for today. Even if you want to wait until 17, whenever we start the horse year and magical things occur. I don't believe in calendars. One, linear time is not real. It doesn't go forward and backwards, but I believe in alchemy. And so every time someone is like, let's say Valentine's Day, so the collective is spending bukus of money, creating lavish experiences because they're giving people things where their emotions weren't capable. Because we can give a bunch of gifts, but it does not equal the emotional intelligence to have a beautiful, harmonious relationship with anyone in our world, especially with ourselves. So this is a perfect time to alchemize for you the energy of Valentine's. That's why I chose a red string. What that means to alchemize it is, if people are out there, ching, 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 oh my God, I'm going to create this beautiful thing. Recognize that energy. The collective is here. This is how I do it anyway. Do it however you want. I go into a meditative state. I bring myself, so I usually sit like this. I bring this version up and out, and I make it into a little micro form. I call this my Buddha meditation. And I bring myself into the inside of my body so that I can look around and see my energetic field. When I can see my energetic field from inside my vessel, then I know where to work on things. What I love about this practice also is I do this so that I stay in my own energy without connecting to the collective energy or chaos or whatever it is. So when I'm inside my own energetic field, it's almost like I'm in my own protection. I can tap into the energetic field of the collective, and I can feed whatever it is creation I want to create into my reality, because there's energy being used so strongly in a traditional holiday. People are worshiping it, obsessing over it. But whenever it comes to something like Valentine's Day, where people are lusting, loving, doing all of these things, this is the perfect time to reclaim our energy, because all of these people, it could be someone from 10 years ago. You're going to tie a knot in your string for them, and you're going to take back your energy from them. That is a perfect way to alchemize whatever it is you gave away to that person. And whatever it is they need to work on is not our freaking business. This isn't claiming that what they did was okay. This is claiming that you are more powerful than whatever it is they went through that you went through. I hope that you're understanding this. So let's just take a moment and make some knots for every lover, every abusive situation, for anything that surfaces. I'm currently in a huge shedding of family dynamics. My uncle transcended not yesterday, but the day before. This is my family in Texas that I don't see, I don't communicate with. And so whenever I got the message, I was like, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy that he's free. But people who are in the entanglement that death is real, I can't hear that because they're just mourning the physical version and how sad they are that they don't get to physically see them. It's selfish, to be honest. But that's part of the program. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just we have to be aware of that at some point and decide I get to build a new relationship with my uncle on the other side. And that's really cool for me because I work really strongly with the other side, with the unseen. So now I get to play and learn from the truth of some things from my paternal side of my family. And what has been really cool is my sister went to go hang out with my cousins, and they shared a lot of information with her that she didn't remember about our childhood. A lot of things that support us in our healing journey, but it's also data. For me, it's data. It's data that tells me where the patterns are because a lot of this information is from my birth mother. My sister and I received a lot of abuse from her in every form, and she put us in harm's way with a lot of men, and because she was choosing selfishly, I don't know if I should say it, but math, just switch the A and the E. Yeah. So she was in her addiction because she was a very, very, very troubled child, and I have so much grace for her because she lived a really, really tough childhood. But that doesn't excuse how she treated me. So that means my boundaries are very tight, and I don't talk to her for over a decade now. So what has happened is my sister is learning new information about why we are the way we are based on the traumatic experiences that shaped us. Perfect energy to alchemize with at the end of the snake year. Perfect. In a multidimensional way, which is where I live. I live in a multidimensional portal of this human existence. My uncle had to sacrifice this timing, if you will, for all of this, for everyone in my paternal bloodline to wake up to something and connect in some way and learn and speak and share and grow and learn and speak, because sharing and connecting in that way, when we haven't talked to them in years, we don't, I personally don't even know them really anymore. But when we were children, we had a lot of really, really traumatic experiences together, like intense. And so now she's meeting them in a new version. And it's just cool. So I'm alchemizing that right now, and I'm going through my own pattern recognition. And once I learn more about the truths of my birth mother, you know, that's going to give me even more data on how I can do my shadow work. And also, I'm going to write another book about this, about what it was like to live the life I lived and how I have remembered that I'm an alchemist, as we all are, and how I have healed and am healing, and how I help others through going through it first, and then I can guide you how to alchemize it for yourself and heal and overcome. So this is us with our knots. If you have them, we're going to burn them. Ha 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 ha. So let's take this in our hand first. Wait a minute. You want to take this, all of these. Ooh, thank you. Say this with me. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for being a part of my human experience and helping me form into the version I am today. I'm releasing you with love and compassion. I reclaim my power from you. I absorb my power. I feel it running through my blood, sitting in my womb, activating my heart. I have reclaimed my energy from all people, places, and things where I willingly gave you my energy. And I say it this way because whenever you wake up to the realization that you created your entire existence so that you could be this version of yourself, you will understand this. It does not mean that their actions are justified, but it means that you care more about yourself. So you love yourself through this, then you care about justice with someone else. What happens to other people karmically is none of our fucking business. Our business is how we manage our awareness, experiences, and energy. Okay? Light this hoe on fire. Oh, no, sorry. Just a minute. Oh, I'm back. I don't know how long that was paused. I'm doing YouTube and Instagram. So I don't know how long that was paused. But anyway, we reclaimed our power from all of the knots and all of the people, places, and things. So now you're going to wash your body with it. Really think about how you are cleaning up everything energetically. Go to areas where you feel like you have stagnant energy because of places, people, and things you've given it away to. And when you feel like you have cleansed yourself completely, stand up if you need to. Clean, clean, clean. Your feet hold a lot of energy. Our womb, your back, your heart. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put this in my pot. This is like, I think this is pretty synthetic. So I want it to burn, burn, burn. Okay. Let it burn. And we have reclaimed our energy. So what you can expect to happen right now, you might feel areas in your body unlock where you're like, ooh, wow, okay. I haven't felt that in a while, or wow, that hurts, or that feels better. But most often, you're going to get connect. They're going to try to reach out to you, the people that you, if they can, exes and whatnot, they're going to be like, oh God, I have to check on her. And then you're going to reach out on your messenger, whatever it is. Do not, if you want to keep your energy to yourself and cut that tie, you must not engage. You must not engage because your human mind and your ego go, oh, they're thinking about me. I wonder how they are. I just want to know how they are because I hope that they're fucking horrible and I want to make sure of it. So you entertain it. Boom. They're reconnected. They're feeding off of you. As soon as you stop letting people feed off of you, when you cut these ties, but you can do this all the time, they're going to feel it. And it can make some people irate because they've been feeding off of you forever. Like my birth mother. I have cut these cords so many times, and that fucking woman can create so many accounts to try to reach out to me, and I just block them all. I don't engage. I feel actually nothing because I have worked so hard on being the peace myself and learning the pattern recognition of what it was like to inherit her motherly patterns. I'm doing the complete opposite as a mother now. So expect that this experience or this reclamation might be a trigger for some. So I'm going to continue this conversation about what I've been shedding myself for a while now that has a lot to do with my sensuality, romantic relationships, finances, and blame, lots of blame. But I'm going to continue that on YouTube. So if you want to continue with me on YouTube, then please go over and watch my live there if you're on Instagram. Um, okay, I love y'all. Bye, Instagram. All right. I'm here just finishing my okay. So this is like the absolute perfect portal for us to really level up. The elevation is not going to be seen depending on where you are in the world in a physical way, but it's going to be so deep in our DNA. Here's what I believe. I believe that I hope you feel lighter. I feel lighter after doing that. I love that. I love that ceremony. I believe that we were born with like 48 strands of DNA. Birthed, like the human experience was birthed with about 48 strands of DNA. And those were devolved through all of what the religion, like Catholic Christian religion will call sins. But what it actually is shadow, unmanaged shadow. And maybe I'm going to loop around into a lot of things because that's just how my brain works. But I believe that the shadow presented itself inside of us when the moon was placed in our field as a false light. Because when we were first here and began this human experience, um, into this field, this simulation, this ecosystem that was designed for exactly this experience. Essentially, we're an experiment. If you we chose to be a part of this experiment, so we're not like rats, if you will. But anyway, it's all divine. When we first got here, the sun was how we managed our emotions. We would wake up with the sun. We'd go out into our world, into our villages, and into our communities, and we would give our energy into the collective of our environment. We would all build our sustainable ecosystem, whatever that may be. Then, when the sun sets, it becomes dark. And those are the times when we did ceremony. That's when we sat in circle with each other. That's when we did our internal work so that our shadow wasn't so big. I believe that the moon and the phases of it show when the shadow is the strongest. And the reason why people get crazy or, ER rooms are different, people feel this way, parasites get really popular around the full moon, is because that is the strongest of the collective shadow. And the reason why it's being shown in the moon, because that was artificially placed there to do exactly that. Everything is to benefit us. Every single system really is to benefit us through our awakening. The entire reason we are here in this field called the Earth plane, it's not a planet, it's a plane, and they planned it that way. They made you think that it's an orbiting thing in space, but really we're just eh, like a stage set up for this experiment on the nervous system. So please ask questions about this too, so I can help like navigate it. But so the shadow, our internal shadow, started growing because we stopped going inside during darkness. There's no reason to be outside when it's dark. we're supposed to be internal, inside ourselves, going through the emotions or what we experienced in our village environment that day, that week, that with our partner, whatever. We go inside at night and go through that. Well, then the moon showed up and it became light at night. And so this started affecting our own shadow. So now we get to see the collective shadow in front of us. So, okay, so let me shadow work, which is my favorite area because I had a lot of trauma from this human experience that I know of, and I'm sure many, many more. Um, and it's all accumulation. Like all of this is, let me tell you, let me just be direct. So, my paternal grandfather was a pedophile. I don't know where else other than at home. He had 4 sons, 2 daughters. He forced them to do things together for his pleasure. As you can imagine, that created a lot of trauma on my paternal side. My maternal side, let's stay there. So this created in my father desensitization for sure. And then my father went into the military with his younger brother. His younger brother flew a helicopter into a mountain, and my dad went AWOL and has never come back from that. He's never come back to whoever he was before all of this. Not in this lifetime. I also experienced a lot of sexual trauma as a child. And I felt very afraid of one of my uncles. And when this information surfaced about how my paternal family was treated at the hands of their father, my paternal grandfather I've never met, I started to understand why that one uncle I didn't feel comfortable with, because maybe he's the one who passed on the trait, right? So, what is happening now that my paternal uncle has transcended is exposure. The exposure of my birth mother. And most of my life, I used to say I feel like I was born at 15 because I didn't have memories until then. So most of my childhood comes from my older sister and I having like memory activations of stuff and then conversing with one another and being like, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Okay. And then it would start triggering memory within us. My sister is 4 years older than me. So her memory of um, what we experienced is better than mine, which makes me really sad for her. But it feels, I know that the exposure that's occurring in my family is probably exposure that's occurring in a lot of people's family because it's occurring collectively in front of us. I said this yesterday on my live that our internal shadow will always be exposed. They're playing out in front of us on the big movie, social media, the mainstream media. What is going on is the files that were released again, I think now for the third time in this civilization, um, is the same exposure that is occurring at the end of this year of snake, because this exposure activates the fire within us in the fire horse year. Again, I'm not one to follow a calendar year, but I am one to know that alchemy is very important in every tradition, every belief, in every religion, Chinese, you know, in Native American, Indian, whatever it is. that all holds truth in how they collected data. Data was collected and things were, labels were made to help us navigate the data. So knowing that the horse, what it does for a collective civilization is why we can take this information and use it in what is coming on February 17th. It's also the eclipse season. I believe that eclipses are definitely part of the simulation, but it tells us where people are going through shifts. Eclipsing. We are all eclipsing in some way, facing our shadow collectively. And if you are just now understanding why we see all of these things in the sky, it's a reflection of who we are. Every star is a reflection of every light that is turned on. So eclipses are a reflection of the collective illumination. So for me, my shedding for right now is receiving data from my family, my paternal family gathering over the celebration of my uncle and his transcendence. They're not celebrating it that way, they're mourning like most people are doing around death because they think that it's real and it's not. But when I learned about this 2 days ago, I immediately knew, oh, there's something we're supposed to know. There's something that is going to follow this event. And I was right, because within 2 hours of my sister seeing my cousins, they started sharing all sorts of information that we had forgotten. And it confirms my choice, my continuing choice to be in no contact with my birth mother. She really is a really dark human. And I don't have hatred for her. I actually have compassion, because in this lifetime, she said, I'm going to be the villain and everyone's going to hate me and I'm going to be alone and I'm going to be on drugs and I'm going to be 65 and still feeding off the suffering of my family at the hands of myself. And I'm going to be alone. And me being this vile is how my daughters will repattern our bloodline. And that's a huge sacrifice to make. It's a huge sacrifice that makes me grateful, because had she not been the woman I pulled out of meth houses, picked up from prison, had machetes, at my neck, trying to help her out of situations, had she not hitting me physically, emotionally abusive, I would maybe, everything is a cause and effect. My commitment and devotion to illuminating my shadow and activating my soul memory and truths maybe would not have been so deep. And so for this part of my life at the beginning, I'm super grateful. This gratitude and the shedding of all of these truths, or my attachment to the truths, or my attachment to justice of the truths, I now get to observe everything that my sister tells me neutrally, without it growing, living, staying stagnant somewhere in my body because I don't have energy for it. I literally feel it just pass me by. I don't attach to it. And in my immediate world, this has been the same rhythm for me with the weight of Seva. this farm, this experience, me working with people when they come here to do deep healing work, mainly the rescue animals and how much materialistically in the monetary world this requires for me to hold. I hold it, and my old pattern was I would hold it until my bank account got scary to me, and then I'd crash out. And while I was crashing out, I was blaming other people for this being my responsibility. And I would say like Monday. Today is Saturday. I would say like Monday. I felt myself going into that orbit again, and I started crying, and I was like, okay, this feeling, this emotion is back. I thought it was good. What is this? And immediately I wanted to go, well, he doesn't help me. And because of that, this is why I'm in the situation I am in. And immediately I was like, oh, that's it. I keep orbiting blame where never ever was there an agreement that this would be this person's role in my life. The agreement was we're going to have a baby and we're going to raise her consciously together, and it's going to be great because we're parents living as neighbors, so she gets to experience both of us in our best version without arguments and stuff. Because when she was a baby, I decided this is too much for me to try to have this relationship and be a mother. I just want to be a mother to my child, and for me to do that I need to take back my energy from you, and I need to cancel our contract of being a romantic couple. And what I've done is circulated back into a pattern again when it's financially scary, and gone, you don't do this for me, this is why. And when I recognized it Monday, it was massive. I felt like I finally saw what I had been orbiting out of fear for most of my life. I started collecting money. I was very young, 7 or 8 quarters, when I would get money from something like that, like, I don't know, pulling weeds. And then I had my first job at 12, and then I was always working. After 12 years old, I was full-time working, and I was collecting the money. And the collecting was fear, and it lasted up until coming here and moving to this farm, because as soon as it comes in, it goes out. I feed a bunch of animals. There's a lot to do on a 57-acre farm, and I signed up for that responsibility. I said yes to this, and I say yes to all of my choices. And what I did, because of programming, is I said, because you're a man in my life, this is what you are expected to do, and men should do this, when that was never an agreement we had. Our agreement was to have a baby and be really good, conscious parents and clean up our bloodlines through it. So giving away my power to someone over and over again because I have resentment for a title or a role and the description I gave to it, that's my responsibility. I need to take self-accountability for that, because that's not cool at all. Why can't I just accept someone for who they are and love all of the other traits that they bring, and trust that if all of this was laid in front of me, then I obviously am capable of holding it. So I need to stop giving away my power and crashing out every time I think I'm going to drop it. Because the truth is, I cannot fucking drop something that is divinely held for me. And I know that if this type of mission, when this type of mission aligned with me, I know I'm the perfect person to hold it. My entire life prepared me to hold this. Every single thing I've gone through, I can sit across from you and you can tell me something and I can go, oh, I know how that feels. Maybe not exactly like you. I'm not taking that from you, but at least I can meet you because I've been through the depth of what that feels like. And that is why I'm good at what I do, because I had to endure a lot and then choose to heal from it and remember who I was, who I am before all of that told me who I am. And the greatest pattern that has been ruling me and draining me is this current one where I was expecting someone to do something and then resenting them when they weren't, even though they never ever told me that that's what I could expect from them. Never. Wow. Huge. What a relief. And since that day, my entire auric field is lighter. My interactions with my baby's father are more peaceful. Resentment is not the root, ever. It's not acceptable. Resentment is the unmanaged expectations. And it's our responsibility if we have expectations of people. Nobody, we did not sign a, well, some people have signed a contract, sure. If the expectations are there and, you know, navigate that on your own. I'm just talking about my personal shedding right now. When I recognized this pattern, I went, I'm done. I'm done gripping a description of what I think my child's father is supposed to be. And instead, I'm observing him as the absolutely magnificent father that he is. And the fact that my daughter gets to wake up in my bed and then her dad shows up and we have cacao together. They go on their way and feed the animals, and I get to sit here and talk to you. I'm such a fucking badass. I created an environment where there's 5 houses here and I get to live in one in my piece and he gets to live in one in his piece, and our daughter gets to walk in between those worlds as much as she wants to. That's pretty awesome. And I'm super powerful, and I'm really glad that I got to recognize this. There are 0 mistakes when it comes to who we procreate with. 0. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to, but it's the program that tells people this is what role a woman is supposed to do. This is what role a man is supposed to do. And if they are failing at these roles that we're expecting them to be a part of, then we should blame them for our pain. Okay, so let's just keep giving our power away all over the place. I'm not interested in that anymore. What I know is that I'm going to hold all of this, and I'm not expecting anyone to hold it with me. But if people want to come along and support that weight, then I'm open to it. And if I have my hands like this, gripping one person that should be helping me and how that, then I'm not allowing other things to flow through. Keep your palms open to receive, and trust that you can receive abundance in all ways for all days. It doesn't have to look like one thing. It can be in so many unique options that we are not even aware of. That if we're gripping it, then we will definitely miss it because it can't come to us. It has to flow. And if you're holding on to one thing, you cannot let the other things fill up. Natalie's here. Let me see what someone said. What you just described is what I'm currently going through. Last night I had a bit of a breakdown and I realized the root was blaming my partner for my issues. Yeah, exactly. Why? And we give away our power that way. And this is what's beautiful is that you're recognizing that now at the end of the snake year, because you're shedding that version of who they're supposed to be. Now, I do not agree with, if you are a shitty partner and a shitty dad, like, get your shit together, and we need to have boundaries around that. But I decided a long time ago, I don't want to be your partner. That's not working for us. So why am I giving you all of these um, expectations that a partner's supposed to have? All I'm doing is I'm giving him a seat that I told him I didn't want him to sit in, and expecting someone else to come and sit in it whenever he's taking that seat. No, instead, remove the seat completely. Let that person bring their own fucking chair. I don't need to supply any more people with anything, but I need people to show up with their own and then live in that. And that's what I'm going to do, and not expect anything from anyone else. Huge, huge revelation. And I believe that this is the collective friction between the male and female species. We're not the same. We're entirely different. Everything about us is different. And what we each have through the programming is a definition of what that title is supposed to look like. What we need to be doing, instead of dissecting these titles, is removing the titles. Remove the title and just go, you are a human being and we are in the same ecosystem. How are we going to work together? And then let that be a collective choice. And each person keeps showing up in their role, and then recognize the pattern. This is who you are. This is where you thrive. This is your weakness. Can I pick up in this area so that we can live harmoniously? Yeah, I can do that. Or is my ego going to say, no, don't do it? We need to punish them. That's a whole other world. And I talk about that in the Shadow Work Bible. It's a really big one for me, because punishment world is huge. And we do it in micro punishments. I told him to take out the trash. He didn't take out the trash. I'm going to set it here for days, and I'm just going to let it pile it up. Or I'm going to put it in the back of this truck. Like, punishment world. Why are we doing that? Why can't we just use our voice immediately? The trash is still sitting here. Are you going to take it out? Or are you going to just have me take it out? I don't mind doing it, but if you're going to tell me you're going to do it, then do it. Don't just tell me something to appease me. But also, pattern recognition goes, okay, I've asked this person. They're not interested in doing this. I'm going to do this for me so that I can remove the resentment. And then I'm also not going to give that person that expectation anymore. And honestly, that's more freeing than holding this grudge of why they can't do whatever it is that you want them to do. Just recognize the pattern and decide if it's going to make or break your life. That's why living up here in community is so powerful, because it's not my farm anymore. I have to concern myself with the function and the rhythm of other people, and other people have to do the same things for this entire community. We can't just do exactly what we want anymore. And that's what people have done. We built fences around our houses. We stopped knowing our neighbors, and we went so far away from village mindset that the absolute scariest thing for people is to share a home with someone that they don't know. That is probably the greatest education your soul can feel, is to come here for 6 months, live in a shared home, or live in a home with your family and share space with other people, because mirrors are erected everywhere. And whenever you live up here at the top of the mountain, there's no distractions. You can't just hop in your car and run away. You can't just walk to the beach, get on a bicycle. You can't go to a pub. You can't go to a restaurant. Everything is right here in our face. And this is the challenge that all of the awakened souls are hungry for. You're going to see a huge purge from cities. You're going to see a huge purge from resort vacations. People need connection. Their soul is begging for connection. And if we can remember that connection requires grace, compassion, and it requires flexibility and fluidity. Like, the rigidness this is how I want my stuff done. This is how you need to put my dishes back. Nobody's going to want to help you do your dishes if you are so rigid about where they go in your kitchen. I mean, I get it. You want your things where they are. It's easier to navigate, but at the same time, are you going to just stop letting people come over to your house because they put your cups in the wrong place? That kind of shit is why people are so disconnected and why they're isolated. And I know because I used to be one. I had to surrender a lot of control from my own peace to live in this environment. Many, many, many deaths and so much shedding occurred to live up here in community. And I was I really liked to control my environment before this. And I've lived alone since for a long time, like decades, And I preferred it that way because it didn't require me to look at my shadow. And when you're up here, that's all you can see is your shadow. And this is where people are headed. They're literally hungry for deeper inner knowing. It's more self-discovery versus external distractions. Going to a resort, all-inclusive resort where you just get to drink at your swim up pool every day, you go back to your reality actually hating it more. But if you can prioritize where you're going to vacate to or reset to or retreat to, that this is where people are headed. They're going to benefit from connecting with their family, going to cabins in the woods or conscious communities in different countries to feel uncomfortable and learn how to get comfortable in that uncomfortability. That's mastery. That's alchemy. Does anyone have any questions about this? Let's see. I really feel like that's it. I'm going to do this every day. This is where we're headed. Live stream, really like connecting community like this, even if it's digital. This is how we're going to activate the new earth frequency. Scrolling apps are keeping our nervous system shot. They're keeping us disconnected. They're keeping us judgmental. They're keeping us in patterns that are really, really wrecking our nervous system. A lot of dopamine hits, a lot of performance. And performance is a super high masculine energy, and we cannot truly be in our feminine and create from that place if we're constantly looking at life, trying to figure out how I can perform myself in this scenery for a 7-second reel where, that my information is way too deep for a 7-second reel. And I'm kind of sick of deluding myself to fit that algorithm. So this is why I'm here, because my medicine comes in my messages. My medicine comes from my voice, and my medicine comes from all of the things that I've chosen to work on with myself so that I can help other people navigate theirs. So that's what I'm doing here. But my baby needs me. So I'm going to say goodbye. Not goodbye, but see you mañana. Ciao.